This is Module 2, Lesson 13, titled Dividing Multi-Digit Numbers Using the Algorithm. The goal, I can use the standard algorithm to divide. The word algorithm, we're going to be using that here, means a repeated series of steps. We're going to be using the standard series of steps when it comes to division. Long division, as your grandparents might say. As always, before we go on, make sure you take good notes throughout this video. Pause the video when necessary, and watch the video as many times, or parts of the video as many times as necessary. Let's go to example number 1. We're going to divide 70,072 by 19. Now, I'm going to skip the estimate part. We're going to focus on the standard algorithm. To make it a little easier on us, I'm going to allow you to use a calculator in order to find the multiples of 19. Not to actually do the division, but to find the multiples of 19. We're going to list the first 9 multiples of 19. What do I mean? 1 times 19 is 19. Then I'm going to find what 2 times 19 is. Then I'm going to find what 3 times 19. All the way down until I get to 9 times 19. I don't need to go any further than that because this list of multiples is going to guide us once we start doing our algorithm. And we can only put single digits into the division problem. And we also don't include 0 because we know 0 times any number is 0. So here's where you can use your calculator just to get the list of multiples. 2 times 19 is 38. 3 times 19 is 57. 4 times 19 is 76. 5 times 19 is 95. 6 times 19 is 114. 7 times 19 is 133. 8 times 19 is 152. And then finally 9 times 19 is 171. Now creating that list might seem like a lot of work, but once you create that list, it makes it a lot easier in order to do the division here. Now I'm going to go, the next page is where they have the brackets set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can split screen this. Oops, not that. So that I can see my list of multiples so that I can divide. Where did it go? Not going to work. I have to scroll up and down. I'm going to have to do some scrolling up and down the way I have it set up. Now, notice from the original problem, the dividend, the first number, it will go inside the bracket. The divisor, the second number, goes outside the bracket. And just for review's sake, remember the dividend, the number inside the bracket here, represents the total. The divisor, the number outside the bracket, represents how big each group is going to be. Basically what we're finding is how many groups of 19 go into 70,072. So I'm going to start, just a little shape here, just to cover some things up. You can use your finger for this. There we go. I'm going to reveal one digit at a time from my dividend. And I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 19 go into 7? Well, it doesn't go in there at all, not a whole time. But I don't put up a 0 above it, because I don't start my whole numbers with 0. I'm just going to simply reveal another digit. How many times does 19 go into 70? So if I look at my list, I'm going to look for a multiple that is less than 70, but as close as possible to 70. And if I see that right here, that multiple is bigger than 70, so that number, 57, is the next biggest multiple. That means 19 goes into 70 3 times. I multiply 3 times 19. Well, I've already done that. I've used that in my list, my multiple list, which is 57. I'm going to subtract those numbers. I have to borrow, and I get 13. Now I have a number that is smaller than my divisor, so I'm good. If I had a number bigger than my divisor, then I did not do something correct. Ways to check yourself as you go here. I'm going to reveal a 0, and I'm going to bring that 0 down, and I'm going to repeat the steps. I'm going to look at my list of multiples and say, how many times does 19 go into 130? I'm looking for a multiple that is smaller than 130 but as close as possible. I can see that it will go in there 6 times. 6 times 19 is 114. Subtract again. I have to borrow again. I get 6 here and a 1. I'm good. I have a remainder less than 19. Reveal the next number and bring it down. Repeat the steps. I need a multiple that is smaller but as close to 167 as possible. I can see that it will go in there 8 times. 8 times 19 is 152. I'm going to subtract. Do I have any more numbers to bring down? Yes, I do. I have that 2 yet. Got to bring every digit in the dividend down. Repeat the steps. I'm looking for a multiple as close to 152 without going over, and I see that it's 152. That means it goes in there 8 times. Oops. That 8 times 19 is 152. Subtract and I get 0. Once I bring all my digits down and I end up with a remainder of 0, I have found my final solution, which is 3,688.